Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Drew here at VCS 2017. I am joined by the one and only Dr. McCullough. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Drew. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, how's the show going so far?
Oh, it's going great. You know, I think it's the largest show that we've had. We've been at this a number of years. I don't know if it's 17 or 18 years.
Yeah.
But I think this is the largest attendance that we've had so far.
Beautiful. So have you been here every year?
Every year.
Talk to me a little bit about like the evolution of this conference for all those years,
Well,
how it's grown.
a very interesting story. I was approached by Dr. Wallman and Eddie Cortez, who was originally involved with this, in a hallway at a meeting. And they said, we have an idea we would like to run past you. And so we sat down and we talked in the hallway, and they said, you know, there's not a multi-specialty meeting anywhere in the country. And what we'd like to do is put together a meeting where we could bring all the core specialists together and learn from each other and share experiences and see if we couldn't help resolve some of the political issues.
Yeah.
And so I thought about it for about 2 seconds, and I said, go for it. I said, it's so badly needed. And what these guys have done with Renato coming on board, Dr. Wallman has done a fabulous job with this. And I really think this is probably the premier cosmetic or aesthetic surgery meeting in the world as far as facial surgery anyway.
So far, that's what everybody I've talked to has said. You know, it's the multi-specialty, being able to collaborate with other doctors from different specialties is something they get here that they can't get anywhere else, and everybody loves it. So you guys
that's true. And you know, there are multiple benefits, not only the educational aspect of it, but the social aspects of it. So many of us on the faculty have been coming back year after year after year, and it's really developed somewhat of a fraternity or sorority, whatever you might want to call it. So we always look forward to coming back and commiserating with each other and telling more stories.
So speaking of fraternity, you're part of a pretty unique fraternity, right? You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'm very fortunate. I went to the University of Alabama on a football scholarship. Had a very good time. There's a good times at Alabama right now, too.
It seems like it's always a good time.
But in the 1960s, when Coach Paul Bear Bryant was the coach there, I was recruited. In 1961, I entered as a freshman and played there 4 years, and we won a national championship while I was there.
Who was your quarterback?
Joe Namath was, I was a center, offensive center, and Joe was the quarterback, and he roomed right across the hall from me, and we became good friends, and to this day we still are.
Beautiful. You want to show everybody that beautiful ring you got on?
Well,
you got a couple.
I don't want to flaunt them necessarily.
No, I'm going to flaunt for you.
The one on the left hand is the national championship ring for University of Alabama, 1964. The one on the right hand is a brand new one. 3 weeks ago, I was inducted into the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame as a distinguished sportsman for 2017.
Beautiful.
So, I mean, it's something I never expected, but I'm sure there are a lot more people more deserving, but nobody is more appreciative.
Now you're being humble.
No, I'm serious. I never expected it. Really didn't.
Cool. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So tell me a little more about your practice then. What do you guys specialize in?
I do facial plastic surgery. Always have. I did an otolaryngology residency. Never had the intent of practicing otolaryngology, but it was a prerequisite training for me. So from day one, I've done facial plastic surgery. I do predominantly rhinoplasty, blepharoplasty, facelifting, and skin resurfacing. Those comprise about 90% of my work.
Okay, cool.
Built 3 clinics.
Wow.
I built a small one in Birmingham, and then in the late 1970s, I built a little bit larger one in 1990, sold it a couple of years later, and moved to the beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Nice, there you go.
I was going to retire, and I'm telling you, after playing a lot of golf and reading a lot of books and
just got
going
bored
to a lot of movies and walking around Walmart a lot, I decided I wanted to get back into it. So I built another clinic, and we have a nice aesthetic medical center, the McCulloch Institute, inside the golf course, in a resort golf course.
No kidding.
In Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Now that's something different.
So we have number 9 on one side, number 18 on the other, and we're right there in the middle of that.
Now how did that idea come about? Was that...
Well, I got to know the family that developed Kraft Farms, is what it's called. And so I went to Mr. Kraft, and I wanted to buy a piece of property adjacent to a hotel that he had out on the highway. And he said, Gaylon, I really can't do that. This is a PUD, a planned urban development. And he said, that's designed for a shopping center. But I have a 4-acre tract over in the middle of the golf course that's commercial. Arnold Palmer designed the golf course. He said when Arnold designs the golf course, he always leaves a piece of commercial land between number 9 and number 18 for a clubhouse or restaurant or whatever. We already have all of that. So he said, go look at it and see if it'll work for you. So I went over and looked at it, and I Yeah, it's worked beautifully.
Yeah, it's going to work for me. So what is that?
So I don't play a lot of golf, but I can look out every window and see people playing all day long.
I was going to say, what are your lunch breaks? Just 9 holes every day?
I used to play a lot. But,
cool.
My avocation today is writing.
Awesome.
I have written to date 14 books.
All about plastic surgery?
No, four are medical textbooks.
Okay.
I have a new one coming out that's going to press in August of this year, and it's entitled The Elite Facial Surgery Practice.
Okay.
I'm working with TEMA, one of the largest publishers of medical textbooks in the world. There are a lot of textbooks out there on the procedures, how you do a blepharoplasty, how you do a rhinoplasty or a facelift, etc. But there's no textbook out there that tells these young doctors how to establish a practice.
Right. You're just pulling back the layers, man. You're accomplished. You're an accomplished man.
Well, I have a lot of energy, and I've never done anything in my life but work, and I love what I do. And people are always asking me, when are you going to retire? I'm 73 years old right now.
Yep.
And so I always answer them when I can't find my way to work anymore. That's when I'm going to think about retiring. But the story is, I live 2 right turns out of my driveway, and it takes me a minute and a half to get there.
So it can be hard.
If I start getting lost on the way to work,
you're in real trouble.
Yeah,
you're in real trouble. All right, go just for a little bit. Let me pivot here for a little bit. I want to ask you some personal questions just to get to know you a little more. Yeah. What's your favorite color?
Red. Crimson.
Crimson red, yeah. And you look good. You're wearing the color. You look kind of like Bear Bryant right here. Well, you need the hat maybe, but
that would be a great honor, I can assure you.
What's your favorite sport?
Football.
I think I knew the answer to that. Favorite sport team? Alabama?
Alabama.
Yep. Any children?
2.
Nice.
Son who's an architect, a daughter who has a master's in psychology.
Oh, wow.
So both of them followed somewhat my interest. I almost became an architect and actually recruited out of high school, and I had committed to go to Georgia Tech and be an architect.
No kidding.
And then Coach Bryant came along and promised me a national championship ring if I came to Alabama. So he left turn, and I went to Alabama, and they didn't have an architectural school. So I went into medicine really as a second choice.
Interesting.
And went through the pre-med program and got into medical school. My second year in medical school, we had a professor, a plastic surgeon, coming lecture to our class.
Yeah.
And he showed before and afters on the screen, and it's just like turning a light on in a dark room. I looked at that, and I said, oh, my gosh, that's architectural medicine.
Right.
So it was the perfect merger between my interest in architecture and in medicine.
Yeah.
So
you're the architect of the face, your son's the architect of buildings, and your daughter is the psychologist. So all collectively, you all kind of are sharing a lot of the same things.
And my wife is an artist. And as a matter of fact, I have to give her a plug. She just returned from Florence, Italy 2 weeks ago, and she received an award as Artist of the Year from one of the largest art magazines and books in the world. They have 2 million subscribers and online viewers. Art Tour International.
Wow.
And she was selected Artist of the Year.
What kind of art is she doing?
She does primarily abstract and impressionistic art.
Cool.
Big, bold colors. I mean, I
love it. That's my favorite. I'm going to have to check that out.
Yes, please do.
Okay, cool. So what do you love most about your job? About being a facial plastic surgeon?
Oh, interacting with people.
Interacting with people?
I really do. I love interacting with people.
Cool.
There's just nothing more fulfilling than to take someone, let's pick an operation, let's say a nose operation, somebody that's disliked the appearance of their nose all their lives.
Yeah.
And the day you take their dressing off, you take them to a 3-way mirror, and they stand there and tears roll down from their eyes. Tears of joy because what was an albatross or sort of a monkey on their back, so to speak, all of a sudden they're freed from that.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the public, we and the profession do, but the public does not understand how sometimes what you might consider a minor flaw to the person who has it, their world is wrapped around it.
Sure. Beautiful. If you can be any kind of animal, what animal would you be?
A horse.
Why?
Well, we raise horses. We raise Tennessee Walkers, and there's something. I've had horses off and on all my life, but I've never had more than one. In the last few years, Susan and I have been breeding and raising Tennessee Walkers.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what kind of day you've had. If you walk out into the pasture, those horses will come around you and they'll take every worry from you. And within just 5 minutes in their presence, the world changes. And when you look into the eyes of a horse, do it next time you're around there.
Yeah.
I've never
ridden a horse.
You're looking into infinity.
Yeah.
There's such strength.
Yeah.
And yet such love and such caring.
And they're amazing athletes.
And they're amazing athletes, and they'd have no idea about their strength.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much. It was great getting to know you.
It's been a pleasure.
And
thank you very much.
Have a good rest of your
I've
show.
had a blast. Thank you.
Me
Thank
too.
you for this. It's
You
been
got
a lot
it.
of fun.
You're very welcome. Awesome. Take care.